Before I get started, I'm so excited to be before you. I first want to give glory and honor to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because without him, I would not be in front of you. I want to thank my wife, who could not be here this evening, Dr. Christine already Robinson. I want to thank my son, Charles IV. He's 6 going on 16. And I want to thank Brother Antoine, man. Thank you so much, brother, from the bottom of my heart for opening up this opportunity. I also want to shout out to all the speakers today, man. Thank y'all for y'all's time and y'all pouring into these young students.
So we're going to go ahead and get started with this thing. So my title of my talk this evening is Following a Road Less Traveled by a Map Drawn by Greatness. And so I'm going to ask y'all a very simple question. What is a map? Why do we use a GPS? I think we all know that the simple answer to that question is it's simply a tool that we use to get from one destination to the next. It's simply used to help us, or prevent us rather, from getting lost and going on to our destination. Now there's a path on that GPS or that map deemed the road less traveled. And I think we all know what that is. That's a path that people don't really take. But have we ever thought about that road less traveled when it comes to our educational endeavors, our professional endeavors, our academic endeavors? You see, what is that path? What does that define? What does that even mean? Is that a path where a lot of people have failed and only a few have succeeded? Does that path even exist yet? Or perhaps is that path a way for people that haven't really succeeded? It's a path full of risk. It's unpopular. It's full of obstacles. You see, that's what I define the path less traveled. And going down this path, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to experience one, if not three, of these challenges: rejection, adversity, and disappointment. You see, before I continue, this is not about me. I'm not here to edify you. Quite frankly, I'm not here to impress you. Okay? I'm simply here to serve as a witness that you do not have to be the most talented, the most gifted, or the most qualified student to be successful. Hear me. Simply all you need is an unwavering faith in Jesus Christ, a tenacity about yourself, and a willingness to be coached and to learn. Then you will and can be successful down this road less traveled. Growing up in Charlotte, well, actually, let me back up. Success leaves footprints. And there are people that have gone before this path before us. There are three individuals I want to put on your minds this afternoon. The first person being Alexander Lucius Twilight. And y'all can fact check me, don't take my word for it. He's recognized as the first African American in the United States to earn his bachelor's degree from Middlebury College in 1823. The second lady I want to bring to your attention goes by Mary Jane Patterson. She was actually born here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and she is recognized as the first African American female to earn her bachelor's degree in 1862 from Oberlin College. The third individual I want to bring to your attention, his name was Richard Humphreys. Again, look this up, do not take my word for it. At the time of his death, he endowed $10,000 toward an institution known as the Institute for Colored Youth. That would then be named Cheney University. And that's the first HBCU established here in the United States on February 25th, 1837. So you see, I'm setting this foundation because HBCUs were made for people like you and I. At a time where racial segregation was at a high, we were not allowed the access to opportunity in education. Now, as I pivot into my story, again, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. And coming out of high school, Harding University, I experienced my first showcase of rejection. You see, I wanted to go to NC State. Why? Because that was a way or avenue to North Carolina State's vet school, I should say. Let me slow down. But when that door closed, another one opened. You see, North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University was that open door, and they took a chance on me. At A&T, well, let me back up. I was watching ESPN one day, and the term or the quote by Herm Edwards, he said, "A goal without a plan is a wish." And that hit me in the chest so deep because I heard that at a time where I knew I wanted to go to vet school, but quite frankly, I didn't know how. We all need a plan at the end of the day. If you don't have ways to execute what you want to do, those plans are going to fall to the floor. You know, some of you may have aspirations to go to med school. Some of you may have aspirations to go to law school, a PhD, an MBA. Some of you may want to dabble in entrepreneurship. But the fact of the matter is, you're going to need a plan. You're going to need a plan of action to get from one point to another. You know, my time at A&T, I experienced pressure. I'm sure y'all know what pressure feels like. They said pressure does two things. It bursts pipes or it creates diamonds. My pressure came in the form of academic adversity. You know, taking Organic Chemistry 1, I failed it once and had to retake it. You know, Calculus 1 and 2, it didn't really come easy to me, so I had to drop that class and retake it. And of course, I flirted with the opportunity, not opportunity I should say, but I flirted with the chance of going on academic probation simply because I was not the strongest student. But I was determined not to allow that adversity to shape my future. And so what I did was I persevered, and in May 2012, I graduated from North Carolina A&T State University. So now that I graduated, the most important part, let me not forget this. I met the love of my life, who is now my wife, Dr. Robinson. So now that I graduated A&T, I had my sights set on vet school. And growing up in Charlotte, the person that put that seed in my mind was my father. You see, he grew up raising pit bulls growing up. He bred them and sold them. And you know, caring for those dogs growing up, that compassion, that love, that admiration, I made up in my mind that I wanted to be a veterinarian at 13 years old. But here's the reality of my profession. 83.1% of individuals are white. 1.4% of individuals in my profession are black. And yet, Tuskegee University produces 70% of the black veterinarians in the United States. So I want to pause real quick. This part of my talk, I really want to focus on the students who are dealing with rejection, who have dealt with rejection. You're dealing with adversity, or you're trying to get to a goal, but it's so gosh darn hard. I want y'all to lock in with me real quick. You see, after I graduated from A&T, I applied to Tuskegee University College of Veterinary Medicine. I was denied. And quite frankly, that denial crushed me. It rocked my world. It shook me. You know, going through that, I was listening to my favorite rapper, J. Cole, and he said a pretty dope quote. He said, "Life is your professor. Know that it's going to test you." So I had to make up in my mind, was I going to quit or was I going to run it back? I chose the latter. So I asked for help. I tapped in with my mentor, and I executed my plan B. I applied again. I was denied again. And quite frankly, this time, the same emotions. I was dejected, heartbroken, deflated. But this time I was angry. I was enraged. Quite frankly, excuse my French, I was pissed. Because I just knew I was the perfect candidate. But I chose not to take that victim's mentality. I chose not to make excuses. I chose to put in work. I chose to up my GPA. I chose to put work in. So I tapped in my mentor again. And on March 11, 2015, I got my acceptance letter to Tuskegee School of Veterinary Medicine. Fast forward, God favored me to graduate from Tuskegee College of Veterinary Medicine in 2019, and I've been able to practice vet medicine for the last 6 years. You know, I want to say this. Never let anybody make you feel inferior because you graduated from an HBCU. We stand on the shoulders of giants, African-American men and women who are products of HBCUs. Just to name a few, Ronald E. McNair, a product of North Carolina A&T State University. Oprah Winfrey, the media guru, a product of Tennessee State. Langston Hughes, the poet, a product of Lincoln. Tom Joyner, the radio legend, a product of Tuskegee. And lastly, one of your very own, the First Lady of Gospel, Pastor Shirley Caesar, a product of Shaw University. You know, going down this path, you're going to experience rejection, you're going to experience hardship, you're going to experience adversity. But here's the good news. Similar to my HBCU that prepared me, I'm pretty confident Shaw is going to prepare all you guys for 3 key traits that you're going to use in your career. Confidence to achieve a goal, appreciation for the process of becoming, and a competence to execute at a high level. You know, I leverage what I learned from my HBCUs, and I can proudly say I'm the first generation gentleman in my family to earn a Doctor of Veterinary Medicine and a third generation entrepreneur. If you look at my hat and my shirt, it's the logo to my business, Robinson Veterinary Mobile Services. Essentially, we are a black-owned business that brings quality veterinary medicine to your doorstep. Again, I don't take credit for any of this. That belongs to God. I want to end with this and a challenge to all the students in here. As you're going down this path, let's travel, and as you're pursuing your goals, do three things. Do me a favor. 1, do not chase glory. 2, do not live or do not depend on the expectations of people. And 3, do not become addicted to the likes on social media. Simply do this. Humble yourselves. Stay committed to the plan God has for you. And watch how he works your word and blows your mind. I end with my favorite scripture, Proverbs 16:9. We make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much for your time, your attention, your energy. God bless y'all.